Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. We will go ahead and get started. I know you guys are taking time out of your busy days, so Dean and I won't keep you. So we'll just we'll get right to it. I'm Luke LaHaye, co-founder, co-CEO at NEWITY, responsible for all facets of the business. Spent a ton of time on ERC with the ERC team, overseeing the whole process. On the credits, we have a few ERC offerings. We do calculation filing for members. So I, do final review and sign those returns. We do calculation filing purchasing for members that come with us from start to finish. So oversee that. And then for this product that we're about to talk about today is ERC Advance, which we're really excited about, is if you filed your ERC credit elsewhere, but would like to access those funds sooner than, say 6, 9, 12 months when the IRS sends the check, we're able to offer that service now to our members. So, help on all facets of those business. I'm a CFA and a CPA, started my career at Ernst & Young and PwC, and then now focused on helping small businesses get capital. So I'll kick it over to Dane to give his background.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Luke, and thanks for joining us today. So my name is Dane Colvin. I'm an AVP of Finance here at NEWITY. Like Luke, I'm a CPA as well and started my career in public accounting. Specifically within the company here at NEWITY, my day-to-day is a lot of just helping run and lead the calculations team for our ERC product. So a lot of just document collection, making sure we're looking at eligibility correctly, calculating the credits, and essentially filing for our members. So a lot of that, and then really excited to kind of get into this new product offering and kind of work with that with our current members and hopefully some new members as well.
Great. Thanks, Dane. One thing we will point out, if you guys have a question as we go through, there should be a Q&A button kind of at the top or maybe on the side of your screen. If you drop those in and we have time at the end, we'll try to run through a few of those. So, don't hesitate to put something out there. So I'm not sure, maybe some of you are current members, few might be new. So just to highlight, who NEWITY is, just to level set. So we started the company to help small businesses access capital. We worked with over 115,000 businesses during PPP, and we've since then started small business lending, where we focus on SBA 7A loans for our customers. We've built a digital end-to-end process that looks and feels very much like our ERC process. So, small business lending is one way, and then ERC is, kind of the next step from PPP, both in the CARES Act, that we help customers get access to capital. Initially, we started just filing, but then we put together a financing option so you can get that money now. That's been a really successful product. Typically, any of the members that qualify, as they go through, they're selecting that. So at heart, we're trying to help you guys, make it easier to get to capital. On the 7A product, as you go through the application, if you've applied or haven't with us, if you don't qualify for that specific product, we are able to offer you other options with some partners we've put together. So our mantra is, even if we can't, place you with our in-house product of 7A, we want to help you get funded, right? You came to us to get capital, and we're trying to fulfill that need. So we give you some of the other options right in our application flow, and every month that gets more and more integrated and easy. So we're trying to work with you on those items. Just a little bit by the numbers, I touched on some of them, but we've helped over 120,000 businesses life to date, totaling $11.4 billion in funding. On the ERC side, we filed almost 2,500 claims thus far. Typical claim size, about $73,000. Our typical member is somewhere between 20 and 30 businesses. So, we might be on the little bit lower side of some of the maybe credit averages if you've heard any out there. The whole team is in-house. So folks like, we have a whole team, like people like Dane and myself, CPAs, lawyers, finance professionals that'll be helping you through kind of start to finish.
Yeah, so getting into a little bit of the product and just an overview of ERC Advance. If you're familiar with ERC at all, you kind of know that it's a great opportunity to help businesses, specifically small businesses that were impacted by the pandemic. But however, with this program, there has been quite a backlog with IRS processing and payments of these claims. So with this product, we're offering essentially a financing of the credit, where we would fund 85% of the ERC claim, essentially within days, and compared to the lengthy times with the IRS. So the benefit does lie in the quick access to capital, getting the money into the business owner's hands now, so they can use it now, in whatever way is needed for the business. And then kind of just the cost and structure of how it's set up. So like I said, we do fund 85% of the credit, and then it's basically through a transaction where we actually purchase the credit. So we set up our secured lockbox, and when the IRS actually cuts the check to mail it, they would mail it to our secured lockbox, and we would retain the ERC credit amount.
And the thing about that structure is it's not a loan on the business, so it's a purchase of a receivable. Think of it, and the IRS repays it.
Yeah, and then kind of taking away with some of the ERC Advance FAQs, things that kind of come up when announcing the product. Specifically, how long does it take? So a lot like our other ERC offerings, it's pretty streamlined in the process. So we have a really user-friendly application that really can take 5-ish minutes to complete, 5-10 minutes. And then from there, you'll kind of upload document support about the filing, your initial ERC filings. And our team will take that and kind of run with it and do just kind of a high-level analysis of the credits that were filed, and as well as some underwriting of the business and the ownership. So with a clean package, we can kind of get through that in a week to 2 weeks. And then once it's approved by our team, it can really get funded within as little as 5 days. So quite streamlined process, especially when you stack it up to the IRS lead times.
Yeah, and then if you're thinking, okay, this product sounds great, I'd like to get money now, there are a few eligibility requirements that we have for our own underwriting. As you know, like ERC in general, the only qualification are you're a business owner and you paid employee wages during the 2020, 2021, and then you're impacted in some way that qualifies you. There's no like specific credit criteria. For our ERC Advance product, there are a few items just to keep in mind if you're assessing whether you qualify or not. We can help you work through those items, but it's a 500 plus FICO score. You have an active business that's in good standing with the Secretary of State. We're focused on businesses with a credit size of $1.2 million and under, kind of $200,000 per quarter. And I think the biggest thing is like just being able to supply all the information. Like we are going to have to look at the information you submitted to your previous provider, kind of look through that and assess it, and then do the underwriting. So those are the requirements. And like Dane talked about, we fund 85% of the credit at funding or at closing. So typically it could take a week or two to get through the process. If you're well organized, it should be on the shorter end. And then we fund every Thursday. So if you get in the process, we get through, you sign by a Tuesday, then you'll have your money on a Thursday afternoon, let's call it.
Yeah, so kind of getting into the step-by-step, more granular, how do you actually apply for this? So you can go to our website, portal.newitymarket.com. It'll prompt you, if you don't have you'll either be able to log into your account with us, or if you don't have one, you'll be able to set one up from there. And if you have any issues there is a good account setup guide located on the website as well. So once you're in and have your account set up, you go to our ERC Advance tile and select Apply Now to actually start the application. Application and document upload process are pretty user-friendly. The application is just going to gather some details about, business, ownership, the initial actual ERC filing, specifically like what quarters the company filed for, what basis that the company filed on, whether it be revenue decline or shutdown ordinances. So from there, you'll kind of roll through that application and be prompted into a document upload screen. again, very user-friendly where it's stacked on, what support's needed, and you would upload it into that exact spot. So there's also some tool tips on there to kind of help you navigate through the document uploads. But to stress with us on the streamlined process, we really need, the cleaner the package, the more expedited your actual application is going to be. And when I talk about the financial package that we're requesting, it's really, not only just the 941Xs that you filed or a company has filed on your behalf. We're also looking for the original 941s to reference. We're looking for the payroll reports, and then tax returns as well. So we can get that robust package and have it clean. We can turn through these pretty quickly.
Yeah, and hopefully, because for this, if you're applying for this product, you've already had to get all that information together for your CPA or other provider. So hopefully, kind of uploading those is just dropping and dragging it from another folder, because we can get through it very quickly if we have a full package, like single-digit days. So once you submit, provide the documents, we work through it, we approve it. For funding, you'll get everything through an e-sign from us that will communicate with you throughout the process. You sign, and then, like I said, we have like a Tuesday night cutoff for everything that gets funded every Thursday, and it's just an ACH directly to, or a wire transfer directly to you.
Yeah, and then here are just some kind of helpful links and resources that can get you to where you need within our marketplace. And then I know we had mentioned we had the Q&A going, so I think Luke's going to take a scroll through that and scope out any questions that we can address live.
Yeah, so looking at a couple questions so far. One is, what happens if the IRS does not approve the ERC credit? You've already received the funds. I understand it takes up to 10 months for the IRS to approve and issue the refund. So that's a great question. We get that all the time, as you would imagine. So if the IRS doesn't approve it, then you have to repay the funds. So, I mean, ultimately, we are putting out capital and expecting to get paid back. The primary objective and source is to get the IRS check. If that doesn't happen, which is, very rare if you're, applying for the proper credit, you would have to pay us back. So it ends up looking more like a short-term loan, if you will. But that would be the case. A lot of times, if the IRS has questions, I mean, it's really the company just needs to work through them and get it approved. And then the duration that it's outstanding, that doesn't, if it's outstanding for 10 months or 12 or 14, we do wait for the check as long as the IRS is going to send it. So you're able to still use that check to repay it. I think the other question, Dane, is about PEOs. That's another good question we get a lot. So yeah, PEOs I'm not sure who asked the question on the PEO, but they're a unique one to work with, where they are filing under their EIN, and unfortunately, because we can't set up a lockbox and go through some of the required structural steps, doing the purchase for a PEO isn't possible at this point in time, unfortunately. We've helped many people that have a PEO file and wait for the IRS. We haven't been able to kind of crack the riddle of how do we help people with PEOs access those funds. We are working on it. So if we ever can get a relationship with, say, ADP directly, like, we would definitely keep you in mind and let you know. But right now, unfortunately, a PEO is going to be something we aren't equipped to do. Last question, maybe Dane, or third question to come in. You want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So the question is, I know Luke went through some of the parameters, and the question is the max of 200K per entity per quarter. So yeah, essentially what we're looking for is the condensed amount. So if it's over 200K in a single quarter for a single entity, that would be kind of where we draw the line. But if it's spread out and maybe the entire credit over multiple quarters is over 200K, or over multiple entities is over 200K, that's something we can work with. It's just that condensed single quarter, single entity over 200,000 that would probably be a no-go for us.
And I mean, 200,000 is kind of not exactly a bright line. If it's around that number, we're typically able to work through it. It's just you know, our, like I said before, our average credit is say 70,000. We're usually working with smaller businesses, 2 to 30 or so employees. So if it's $1 million a quarter, you know, that's not going to be a good fit for us, but we could still try to work with you to find someone that could. It just wouldn't be something we do in-house. So that looks like those were kind of the 3 main questions we got, all good ones and all ones that we've heard before. You know, so, you know, hopefully Dane kind of summarized it well of how you apply. You go to our website, create your account. You'll see there's an ERC button to click on and apply, walk through the application. If you have questions while you're going through the application during our business hours, which is say 8 to 7 Central, there is a chat feature where our ERC document team is behind that chat, like with actual people that you can talk to. So if you have questions as you go through, you know, I would really recommend chatting with them because they can help you answer those questions and get submitted. Because if we get your full package, we could work through this in days and help you get to those funds. So, you know, we're hoping we get to work with all of you on this. And if you have any other questions, you know, you can, you know, apply, ask the team. Like we work with you hand in hand all through the process. So we'll be there to answer any of those questions as you go. Appreciate your guys' time and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.